And away we go. Before sending jurors home early today, Judge Juan Merchan instructed jurors on how to handle the case when Donald Trump's proceedings got underway in the former president's New York criminal case. Happened this morning. Merchan spoke with the jurors just before prosecutors made their opening statement. He explained the nature of evidence and how it will be presented to the court, and he emphasized that the indictment against Trump is not evidence of any guilt. He told jurors they're not allowed to ask questions, but they are allowed to take notes throughout the trial. He also went on to instruct the jurors not to discuss the case with anyone, visit any place where the crime was alleged to have been committed, or read about and research the case outside of the courtroom. Here with us to discuss the case, senior advisor for the Donald J. Trump campaign for President 2024, our good friend Lynn Patton. Lynn, nice to see you.
Hey, Steve. Great to be back. How are you?
I'm well. So here we are. The circus is in town. The tents are set up for a while now. What's your takeaway from today so far?
Well, today might have been considered a little ray of sunshine with respect to the other trial that's simultaneously going on, where Letitia James obviously got smacked down for trying to get President Trump's cash bond revoked. In what world is a cash bond not adequate enough to sustain the requirements? And, quite frankly, the judge had no fundamental understanding of basic finance and was told so. And we feel very confident that, that case is proceeding as best it can. With respect to, obviously, the Bragg situation, first of all, the lawyers will kill me if I don't make clear to you and your listeners and viewers that I am also under the same gag order as President Trump as it pertains to the jury and the witnesses. But, at the end of the day,
Wait. Hold on. What does that mean? Hold on. What restrictions are you under?
So we, as members of the campaign, especially senior members, are not allowed to discuss or disparage any of the witnesses or jury members either, nor are we allowed to give any sort of identifiable sort of descriptions of them.
So you're not allowed to say Michael Cohen is a serial liar. You're not allowed to say that. I am. But you're not,
you
right?
Are. I could be, I guess, held in contempt if they really wanted to really stick it to us. So it's crazy, Steve, when you think about it, when you think of the fact that certain folks are allowed to run around and say whatever they want about him, but the tables when turned are restricted. So the fact that it applies to the rest of us who aren't even indicted.
I want you to be careful here, but I want to ask you a question. Michael Cohen is like one of the star witnesses in this case, right?
He was actually one of my former best friends, to be honest. We were inseparable.
Right, but he was convicted of perjury, fraud, other issues, right? But you're not allowed to point out what he's been convicted of, or can you say that?
These are all valid questions. I would implore your viewers to go to Google and see for themselves what they can find on him. You didn't hear it from me.
No, I understand. But here's my problem with this, Lynn. Because anybody that watches this program or listens to me on radio or podcast, where they know that I'm one thing. I am a First Amendment absolutist. And the idea, first of all, the idea that they would silence Donald Trump, wrong. Period. Absolutely wrong. Everybody can talk. I thought everybody could, but to silence you or any of his team members to say anything is wrong. This is America. And the number one protected thing is political speech, isn't it?
Absolutely. But Caroline Leavitt, myself, Jason Miller, we've been warned several times during our morning meetings that we cannot speak to the jury pool or the witness list or anybody on it.
That, I think there are a lot of people, Lynn, that find that appalling, anti-American, criminal in nature. I mean, it's undermining the Constitution of the United States of America, the thing that, many of us still believe in.
Absolutely. And, what I will say is that, I think the important takeaway for your listeners is to know that, number one, this is not a hush money case, no matter how salacious they try to make it sound today in court. with the people that are parading through or with the opening statements. This is actually a accounting or bookkeeping entry case. Never in the history of American jurisprudence has that been tried as a felony. This is the very first time. This is also the very first time that the state of New York has changed the statute of limitations to prosecute a bookkeeping entry. At the time, Trump was actually president of the United States already. He's not responsible for the books. He doesn't enter any ledgers in the books. Never mind the fact that we still continue to assert there was no error in the books. This was a legal expense. We stand by that. We also stand by the fact that this is paramount to election interference. The American people, your RAV viewers, are turning on the TV every day and seeing my boss sit there from 9:30 to 5, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, the leading presidential candidate in this race, while his poll plummeting opponent gets to campaign freely and fairly across this country without any impediments. So
this arrangement, whether you think it's tawdry or whatever, maybe you think it's a little bit whatever you think of it, it's called a non-disclosure agreement. Happens every day, no matter how you characterize it. Think it's good, think it's bad, doesn't matter. It's a non-disclosure agreement. Happens every day in America, whether somebody's done something right or wrong. They make arrangements, legal arrangements, a contract deal. It's contract law. It's cut and dried contract law, isn't it?
Absolutely. I went to law school for 1 year, but I can assure you that is something they teach at the outset. This is the loudest hush money case I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, so just one other thing. Talking to the president, talking to Donald Trump, what are his spirits like? I mean, he's a little bit limited in what he can say out here in public, as we just heard, but how do you think he's doing?
Just like I've said in the past, Steve, it's incredible because, I have to admit that sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night with tears in my eyes with everything that this family's gone through. But he has continued to be so resolute and determined. And the more they attack him, the more he feels more determined to stand up and fight for this country. He will never quit. They can strip him of everything, but he can never drop out of this race. He will never let the American people down. And I'm extremely proud to work for him. And by the way, the American people recognize it. They know that this is lawfare. They know that the best man is not being allowed to win, and they don't like it.
Right. Yeah, he's being bullied, Lynn. That's the popular term, being bullied by an aggressive prosecutor in a variety of places. Lynn Patton, thank you for the update. Glad to hear he's doing well. He'll be fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, he will.